My husband promised his sister she could live in my house, without even asking me. Then he called me abusive. I'm a 28-year-old woman. I buried my father 2 weeks ago. It was devastating. Before the grass had even grown over the grave, my 32-year-old husband, Mark, was already measuring the windows of the estate I inherited. My dad left me his paid-off craftsman home in Seattle. It's worth $1.2 million, plus a little extra cash. Mark has always been weird about money. He pours it into his family's bottomless pit of debt, while I cover our bills. But that's not even the worst part. Yesterday, I came home early from work with a migraine. I walked into the backyard and found Mark standing in the detached garage with a contractor I'd never met. The garage was my dad's old woodworking shop. I froze when I heard Mark say, "We need to knock this wall down for the kitchenette. Sarah needs her own cooking space so she doesn't bother us in the main house." Sarah is his 40-year-old sister. She has 3 kids, no job, and has been crashing with friends for 6 years. I stepped in and asked what the hell was going on. The contractor bolted. Mark turned beet red and tried to play it off as a surprise renovation. I pressed him and the truth came out. He had already promised Sarah she could move into the garage, rent-free for a few years starting next month. He told her I was fully on board. Can you believe that? He was planning to use $50,000 of the cash I inherited to convert my dad's sanctuary into an apartment for her. 50,000 dollars. When I told him absolutely not, he snapped. He told me that since I didn't earn the house, it's a marital asset, and I'm being a greedy elitist for hoarding space while his sister is struggling. Wait until you hear this. He actually looked me in the eye and said, "Withholding these resources from family is a form of financial abuse." I told him the only person moving out is him. He packed a bag and went to his mom's house. Now his entire family is blowing up my phone, calling me heartless, and saying my dad would be ashamed of my selfishness. I feel like I'm going crazy. Is it wrong to keep the house to myself? Did I overreact, or is he completely out of line? Let me know what you think. My husband bought a $3,200 diamond bracelet, but he didn't give it to me. I'm 26. My husband is 29. I found a crumpled receipt in his blazer pocket. It was for a $3,200 diamond tennis bracelet. I actually smiled at first, because our 3rd anniversary is next week, but then I realized the purchase date was 2 months ago. I didn't say anything right away. I decided to play the long game. I waited. Our anniversary dinner came and went last night. We went to our favorite Italian spot. When it was time for gifts, I held my breath. He handed me a large, heavy box. I opened it and found a high-end Breville espresso machine. Don't get me wrong, I've wanted one for ages, but my stomach dropped through the floor. Where was the bracelet? This morning, while he was in the shower, the paranoia one, I grabbed his phone. He had changed his passcode recently, but I could see the pattern in the screen grease. I unlocked it and went straight to his archived messages. There was a thread labeled "Scam Likely," but the profile photo was his ex, Jessica. The woman he swore he blocked 3 years ago because she was toxic and ruining his life. The texts went back 6 months. It was a highlight reel of emotional manipulation. Jessica texted, "My landlord is threatening eviction again." "Please, Mark," Mark replied. "Sent $800 via Venmo. This is the absolute last time, Jess." Spoiler alert, it wasn't the last time. Then I scrolled up and saw the photo. Her wrist, slender and pale, wearing the diamond bracelet. Her text, "Thank you for the sparkle, Marky. It reminds me that someone still values me." His reply, "You deserve to shine. Just promise you won't pawn this one like the necklace. I need you to stay strong." I confronted him immediately. I didn't even wait for him to get dressed. I threw the phone on the bed and expected him to beg for forgiveness. Instead, he got angry. He told me Jessica is in a severe depressive episode, and he's the only person she trusts. He claimed the bracelet was a bargaining chip to get her to commit to inpatient treatment, not a romantic gesture. He actually had the nerve to call me materialistic for focusing on the jewelry and heartless for wanting him to abandon a woman on the edge of a breakdown. He left for work an hour ago saying he needs space from my asterisk jealousy. I'm sitting here looking at our joint savings account. realizing he's drained over $6,000 in ATM withdrawals this year alone. $6,000. Am I the a-hole for telling him he has until tonight to block her for real and sue for the money back? Or I'm listing the house. Did I overreact, or is he completely out of line? Let me know what you think. My brother-in-law stole $12,000 from me. Then he used it to buy his fiancée's engagement ring. I'm a 29-year-old woman, and I'm currently staying in a hotel because I can't even look at my husband without screaming. We've been scraping by for 4 years, driving beaters and skipping vacations, all to save $50,000 for a house down payment. Last Tuesday at 3 a.m., my mother-in-law called us. She was sobbing hysterically. She said my brother-in-law, Jake, who's 26, was in serious trouble. Something about a predatory loan he took out when he lost his job. She said he needed $12,000 immediately, or he was going to be physically harmed by loan sharks. My husband was hyperventilating. Against my gut instinct, I agreed to transfer the money from our house fund. I specifically told Jake. This sets our house hunt back a year. Please fix this. He texted back, I owe you my life. I won't forget this. Yesterday, I'm scrolling Instagram on my lunch break. I see a post from Jake. He's not in hiding. He's in Santorini. The photo shows him holding a massive rock on his girlfriend's finger. The caption read, drop $12,000 on the ring because a queen deserves nothing less. We're engaged, she said yes. I felt like I was going to vomit. The amount was exact. I called my husband immediately. Shaking. He didn't sound surprised. He sighed and said, look, Jake was feeling like a failure compared to us. He needed this win to get his life on track. We can just save the money again. Please don't ruin this moment for him. I saw red. I drove straight to the bank, withdrew my half of the remaining savings, and opened a separate account. Then I texted Jake, you have 24 hours to return the $12,000, or I comment on your engagement post, with screenshots of the wire transfer, and tell your fiancé exactly how you paid for that ring. My phone is now blowing up. My husband says I'm being financially abusive and a bitter witch for threatening to humiliate his brother. My mother-in-law says family helps family without strings attached, and that I'm jealous of their happiness. So, am I the a-hole? Did I overreact, or is my husband's family completely out of line? Let me know what you think. I'm holding my roommate's MacBook hostage because she detoxed my dog with a vegan diet. You won't believe what happened. I'm shaking just typing this because the audacity is unreal. I'm a 26-year-old woman. I live with Bella, who's 25. Bella is one of those wellness influencers with 4,000 followers. She thinks crystals cure broken bones, but that's not the worst part. I have a 130-pound mastiff named Tank. He has a specific digestive condition. Tank is on a strict, expensive raw meat diet. Bella has always hated this. She says having dead flesh in the freezer ruins the apartment's energy flow. Last weekend, I had to go to my sister's wedding for 48 hours. I pre-portioned Tank's meals, I labeled them, and I offered Bella $150 to just put the bowl down twice a day. She agreed. I came home Sunday night to a nightmare. The apartment smelled like lavender oil and literal crap. Tank was lethargic, whining, and his stomach was rock hard. I checked the freezer. All 6 pre-portioned meat meals were gone, but that's not all. I found Bella in the living room burning sage. When I asked what happened, she smiled and said, I did you a favor. I threw out that toxic sludge and started Tank on a plant-based cleanse. He had lentils, quinoa, and a turmeric shot. My dog is a carnivore with a digestive disorder. I rushed him to the emergency vet. $1,200 later, he's on fluids for severe gastritis and dehydration. The vet said the fiber overload nearly caused a blockage. I was furious. When I got home at 3 a.m., I slapped the vet bill on the counter. Bella laughed and said, I'm not paying for Western medicine's lies. His body is just purging the negative toxins. So here's what I did. Bella is a freelance graphic designer. While she was in the shower this morning, I took her MacBook Pro, her entire livelihood, and locked it in my gun safe. I told her she gets the laptop back when I see $1,200 cash in my hand. She is currently screaming outside my bedroom door. Her mom just texted me threatening to call the police for theft. My friends say she could sue me, but I don't care. She almost killed my dog for an Instagram aesthetic. So, Am I the a-hole for holding her property as collateral? Am I the a-hole, or is she completely insane? Let me know in the comments.